With its original intentions being a nameless, faceless project that everyone has to kind of make up their own assumptions about who is creating the music, Enigma was created by Romanian-born German musician and producer Michael Credo, and his identity was revealed when, unfortunately, one of the samples he used on this project was without permission, and they had to go through a little bit of a lawsuit, and they settled out of court and gave the people who sued them the royalties they deserved, and that was ultimately bringing more attention to that music. But unfortunately for Michael, he couldn't remain anonymous anymore. He collaborates with a bunch of artists to create this pretty new sounding ambient world beat mix that just took the world by storm when he first jumped onto the scene in the early 90s. This is his second album, The Cross of Changes, released through Virgin Records in '93, following up his massively successful debut. He wanted to make something new by fusing more rock and roll and classical to make an entirely different experience from that first album. Incorporating an array of chants, samples, and stories from around the world, Enigma challenges musical convention with a mystical approach to sound and flow on this trance of an album. It's an enveloping, spiritual, numerological sonic adventure that I can't wait to jump into. It starts out with Second Chapter, and this CD lets you know right away that it isn't your regular listening experience. With low humming, layered synth chords, and little instrumental samples throughout, this is a subnautical opener that I had to pause and run and grab my headphones to really maximize that encompassing grip that Enigma can have. All the tracks are linked, meaning the end of each track contains the beginnings of the next track. It makes skipping anything on this record very difficult. A shakuhachi flute, used for Zen Buddhist meditation, brings you from Second Chapter into the eyes of truth. This second track is the second longest, and it's chock full of samples from Mongolian folk singing to U2, Peter Gabriel, Ann Dudley, Vangelis. List goes on. All crafted together to transport you through this theatrically diverse piece of new age world rock that I just love letting envelop me with its story. Great soundtrack music, and it was so theatrical that a couple movies used it in their trailer, most notably The Matrix in '99. The immersive low synth chords are back on the most successful single on this LP. Return to Innocence is a track performed mostly by Angel X, who sings truthful lyrics about just that, and a Taiwanese indigenous couple, Ige and Difang Duana. Built on top of the classic beat from When the Levee Breaks, this melodramatic world beat music is celebratory in atmosphere, making it an internationally acceptable music that was used for event promotion for the '96 Olympic Games. The longest cut by far at almost 9 minutes of the 44-minute runtime of this album. I Love You, I'll Kill You. The first half is a soft, slow, floaty, whispered new age number that enjoys a few-minute rock jam session in the middle and turns back into that submersive ambient sound from the beginning. A lot of fun ideas here, but narratively I'm a little lost and not really sure what I'm supposed to get out of this one. Fading to the wind and blowing into Silent Warrior, a depressing cry for understanding about the effects of colonization, with lines referencing the album's title and taking a swing at Christianity. That's The Cross of Changes. It's powerful and, like most of the songs on this album, pretty ambitious. It's got Native American war chants, African drum beats, those epic enveloping synths, more drums, and that cricket noise that people have as a notification for messages on their phones. I hear it sometimes when I'm out getting groceries or whatever. Onto a song dedicated to his then wife, famous German singer Sandra. I believe she speaks the verse in this one. It's titled The Dream of the Dolphins, and it tries to wash over you with dreamy synths, whistling, and a piano performance. But it ends up feeling like a corny soap opera intro or something. It's probably the most obnoxious cut here, really just trying so hard to be dreamy, and it just comes off so corny. With the amount of emotional pull the rest of this album does have, it's kind of strange that he's not able to make a powerful love track. Maybe he's just out of his wheelhouse, or maybe he's just been pulling on those emotional chords so long that at this point it just feels forced. Age of Loneliness is the main theme off the 1993 movie Sliver. Originally, Credo was asked to write the entire soundtrack for it, but after a couple songs, he decided to return his focus back to this album. Eerie electronic effects set the tone, while haunting Mongolian chants are joined by a driving drum beat that pulls you through this uncertain feeling soundscape. Continuing to return to underground, underwater themes, Out from the Deep is almost a psych rock, pop rock cut. It revisits the verse from the opener second chapter and gives it new meaning, lightening up the weight that's behind it. And it flows seamlessly into the closing title track. Just a soothing, atmospheric send-off to a pretty incredibly immersive listening experience. The Cross of Changes is a journey of rediscovery and reconciliation, sprouting up from the past to remind you of your many flaws, your many shortcomings, but guiding you on a path to positive growth. There's something about really well-engineered ambient music that has this ability to strike a deep chord, and this LP did, selling over 8 million copies worldwide and being incorporated into a ton of other forms of art throughout the 90s. Enigma truly put the new in new age and opened up a new angle for electronic ambient sound. Michael Credo has released 8 albums under the project Enigma, most recently in 2016 titled The Fall of a Rebel Angel, linked down below along with this and any other music I might have mentioned. As always, thanks for watching, and if you're new here, you can subscribe for a weekly dose of a fresh look at old music. I do these CD reviews, there's tons of examples over here. Hope you're happy, healthy, getting what you need today. Take good care. See you next week. Say goodbye, Pep. See you next week. Bye-bye.